This is Viana Marie, and you're listening to Whobazoo.com.
The booth. I share my world within the booth. The booth. This is all I do within the booth. The booth. A set of headphones, one microphone, and yo, hold the phone. I'm in the booth. The booth. I share my world within the booth. The booth. This is all I do within the booth. The booth. I got one microphone, flow blitz in the zone. Yeah, I'm in the load me up, lock me in. I don't care, box me in, cause the booth got me in this brand new zone. Plug me in, turn it up, blitz gon' burn it up. Might start melting down the soundproof phone. It's one way, so it's one mode. Booth on the bus whenever I'm on the road. Lock in for days and anything goes. It's been 7 days, the same clothes. Still flowing for them dudes sitting outside on the blocks in the booth, but I'm spitting outside of the box. I know where the digits at, where the lyrics at. I ain't never losing, so I ain't gotta get it back. Got commercial music, but I still know how to spit it rap. I'm like the trees on my boots, I grew from the roots. If I'm lying, I'm flying, but I'm the truth. Only one way, my mobile on roam. I'm underground in the booth. The booth. I share my world when in the booth. The booth. This is all I do when in the booth. The booth. I got a set of headphones and one microphone. And yo, hold the phone, I'm in the booth. The booth. I share my world when in the booth. The booth. This is all I do when in the booth. The booth. I got one microphone. Yeah, I'm in the zone. Yo, Spencer's in the booth.
Was he African?
African.
No. He was American, and he was like you.
You are listening to The Booth here in the Brockton area, broadcasting live, going out everywhere. I'm still awaiting my guest, Vero G. Veronica Gonzalez is supposed to be on the show tonight. Hopefully she shows up. She said she just got in the door and she would be on in a few minutes, and I haven't heard from her yet. Her movie premieres tonight. So I want to get her on here. The movie is called Through Their Eyes, The Mask Behind the Mask, short documentary film about domestic violence survivors. It's going to be on various outlets tonight. I've got some stuff we got to show. I've got a trailer we got to show. But before I get into tonight's show, I got to show you guys something. For those who've been following the news and Trump and Biden and stuff, everybody talks about these official ballots and things like that. So I just want to show you guys. It actually came in the mail today. We're 2 weeks out from the actual election itself. So I kind of want to just kind of show you guys what it looks like when it comes. Because there has been some fake mailings, some fake ballots that have gone out, I heard, in some states, in some cases. So I just want to show you guys the envelope that it comes in. I don't know if you guys can see this correctly. Damn it. Yeah, the camera's not picking it up. I should take pictures of it and put it up. It's brown background. But it comes in a brown envelope. It says right on the front, state election ballot, please forward immediately, rush. It comes right from your town's clerk and election commissioners from whatever city or town that you live in. It says an official election mail. It actually came. That was the envelope. But for some reason, that envelope isn't coming up. And then your vote by mail information is all right here. And next time I'll just scan this. I have to realize next time that for some reason this is the second time I've tried this where I've held up papers and the papers don't show up on camera. So next time I'll scan them and then maybe I can show you guys exactly what it looks like. I guess there was a website that you go to is Ballotpedia. If you go to Ballotpedia, I think Hot 96.9 had mentioned this morning. Go to Ballotpedia, put your state in, and you would be able to see the ballot from the state or city that you're from, and go that route. So that's I kind of wanted to show you guys this ballot so you could see how it looks. But for me, I'm actually going to vote in person. I'm going to go to the school down the street, and I'm going to vote. I actually put in for the ballot just in case we ended up shutting everything down because we didn't know kind of where everything was going with the numbers and things like that. So I was worried that, damn, if it gets shut down, we're not going to be able to vote at the school, we're going to have to vote by mail. So I wanted to just cover my butt and get my ballot. Now, supposedly, a while back, Donald Trump was telling people to fill out the ballot and then go vote, and then they twisted it and made it seem like he was telling people to vote twice, and he wasn't telling people to vote twice. They really spun that wrong. So what Donald Trump was trying to say is I could take this ballot, fill it out with my pick for who I want to win the election, and then come election day, if I was worried about my vote not being counted, I could go down, vote at the election booth at the school where I vote, and realistically, they should know that I've already voted by ballot. So they would say, no, we received your ballot. You're not going to be able to vote. Your vote was counted. And I walk away. Simple as that. So I know I think it was like 2 months ago that they had this whole issue pop up, and it was I think I want to blame the media. I think the media was the ones who kind of spun it a certain way, and then the far left people and the far right people got into it. So again, I understood what he was trying to say. I completely understood. I vote, so I know exactly what he said. Before I get into this, also, I got to mention my sponsors you see down the bottom here. Michael Douglas Barreto. Vero G is here. Let me get her in here. And she should be coming in a second. Here she comes. Hey, how's it going? Just waiting for your audio to connect, and we'll get your audio in here. Yeah, your computer audio is connecting, so we're just going to wait for your computer audio to connect, and we'll get you in. So down the bottom, let me just get my sponsor out here. Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics, is a guy who fixes Xbox and PlayStation controls. You send them out, you pay a flat rate. Within 24 hours, it's a quick turnaround, and he gets you in there. So let's see here. She's actually can unmute. Asked to unmute. Okay. All right, I should be able to hear you now.
Yes, who are you?
Oh wow, you're mad staticky. What's going on?
I'm thinking I've been just running around today. As you can see, I'm halfway there. I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm here. But I just want to thank you in advance for having me on the show. I'm so excited. So thank you so much.
No problem. So I got Veronica Gonzalez on with me, Vero G. She is from DTF Radio, Vero G Spotlight TV, and she's on here tonight to promote the new film Through Their Eyes, The Mask Behind the Mask. It's a short documentary film about domestic violence through the survivor's eyes. Now, this film actually premieres tonight, 8 p.m. through all media streaming outlets. So if you want to get on there, I'm actually contemplating going back and forth, doing a watch party of the film when I watch it and see what people's take is. But she's on this show with us now. And I'm so glad that you're on here because we really wanted to talk about this film. I actually got the trailer here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play the trailer first, and then when we come back in, I'm going to come right back in to this interview. So here's the trailer right now. Again, 8 p.m. tonight. And you want to let them know where they can see it? You know all the outlets better than me, the streaming outlets.
No. Not a problem. Yes, guys. So you guys can check it out real cool. It's under Vero G Spotlight TV. Also on my YouTube channel, Vero G Spotlight TV Network. Also at Amazon Fire TV as well under Vero G Spotlight TV Network. And you guys could check it out there, like he just said as well. I'm excited. I cannot wait. For the Sinista1, I'm excited. Yes.
All right. So cool. Here's the trailer right now for Through Their Eyes. Here we go.
Girl, don't don't you cry. He's not worth your time playing those games. It's time to say goodbye. He made a fool of you, took your innocence, took your common sense. You're his property, act like this is the norm. He ain't no good for you. Better leave before it gets too late. Gotta be strong.
My Facebook and also on my YouTube. So she contacted me. She said, "Hey, sis, because we're both domestic violence survivors." So she said, "It would be cool. We could do something. The concept was to do domestic violence survivors to talk about their story, and especially around like this time of the month." So I said, and it was like around a while back we spoke about this, and I said, "Sure, no problem." So we stayed in touch, and then I told J Prime Media, the director, the idea. He loved it. We just started working slowly the process, and eventually Sheena bring her people that part of the project itself to talk about their stories and all sorts. And everything came into place.
How do you get people to break down and tell their stories? Because it's going to be hard because you have to get people to be comfortable to tell you their story and then to come on camera. Like talking and leaving your voice is kind of easy. But when you have to talk on camera about what has happened to you, and some of these things I'm pretty sure is probably horrific.
Yes.
And it's almost like that PTSD kicks in and you're reliving that moment. How do you get somebody comfortable enough to talk to you about that incident?
Sure, no problem. So we started slowly the process. Like, we just put out there and broadcast on Facebook posts. Anybody out there interested to get their story heard. A lot of people hit me up, also Sheena as well, and also to Jason. But a lot of people didn't really, they maybe at the moment they said yes, but then they kind of backed down on it because of their situation, which I understand because it's yes, it doesn't matter. So I said, you know what? Look, if you guys are not ready for it, you just guys know whenever you're ready, just let me know. But down the line, we eventually had a small group of people that were willing to, no matter what the situation, we first and foremost, we made sure, if they talk about their abuser, it had to be anonymous or, their name, well, because, I don't want down around, the abuser to find out they're exposing the abuser, and then that's a casualty right there. So we made sure we had everything crossed and T's with paperwork and everything. But eventually, people just, they confide in us, and they said, because they know also we were also domestic violence survivors, they trust in us. So they said, I'm gonna do this for myself and for my family, and for them to finally heal. And I will tell you something honestly, Sinister, that after we did this process, we saw the participants that they, they talked about their story and everything else. I felt like after taping, they had lifted off 10 pounds off their chest. They were crying. Of course, yeah, they were crying, and they felt so good about this because they said after, I think one of them actually said, like, after 10 or 20 years, if I'm mistaken, they finally set out their story, and they felt like that they feel kind of complete now. like in the sense that now they could like move on with their life and just been holding up for a long time. So with that said, I feel like, this is something on the right path what we're doing, and this was just amazing, phenomenal project, and I cannot wait for you guys to watch it tonight. I'm excited. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Yeah. Oh wow, cool. Okay. Okay. Wow. There you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion had one hell of a performance. Megan Thee Stallion came out and she did this thing where she talked about black women being disrespected and degraded, and she did
Mm.
hashtag protect black women. And as I said before, this show, I showed this clip from Harlem Nights with Quick and Vera, and I just wanted to not make light of it, but I wanted to show this situation. And one of the
Yes.
things that I wanted to show is that, oh, somebody's trying to call me.
Oh. It's
So
good. It's all good. It's all
yeah,
live.
somebody's
It's all
trying to
live.
call me. What I wanted to show is because she was on the show and she's saying she was tired of black women being disrespected, degraded, and she came up with the hashtag protect black women. This is a big
Okay.
deal because when you talk about abuse,
Mm.
the abuse of black women is something that's been around for years and hasn't really been brought to the forefront
Very
until
true.
now, until this situation has happened. This was one of these things that a lot of people knew about in the black community. You have these guys that sometimes they think they've got this power. They think they can power trip over women. It don't matter who they are. And what happens is, in this situation, Tory Lanez did, you know, he allegedly shot her in the foot because he was upset for whatever short man syndrome, whatever reason he had, he shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. The problem
Mm.
here is that when you look at, supposedly they were dating for a little while, at least a month or something. The problem is that when you look at this from a domestic violence standpoint, he is the controller. Tory Lanez, he's the controller in this situation, and using a gun is another way to control the situation and control the victim. Now,
Yes.
it didn't end there. You would think that after this incident and after the cops were involved and lawyers were involved, you would think it ends there. So my question for you, for someone who's gone through domestic violence yourself and as a survivor, your
Yes.
thoughts on the way Tory Lanez has acted as, and I'm going to say it, as an abuser. He came out,
Yes.
he put a mixtape out and everything, which I'm pretty sure was against his lawyers and stuff, because now
Wow.
he's incriminated on this mixtape that he's put out, and now he's looking at 21 years that he could be facing because of the stuff that he put out in the two mixtapes. So for me, again, that shows that abuser control, thinking he controls. So I'm going to ask you straight out, as a domestic violence survivor, is that the type of crap we see from someone of that stature?
Of course, definitely. I mean, all the flags are there. I mean, for her being with him, and I don't know if the story is true. Where I think it was one of the Kardashians, I think, was flirting with him. I don't know what's the story behind that, but the thing
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that I feel as being a survivor and seeing her went through that, a lot of people make memes out of it. They make fun of her, and it's unfortunate. And they should take the opportunity and stop, because they didn't realize the story behind that. They just foresee it as she got shot in the foot, and basically it was just a joke down the line. And to me, I feel like that was wrong. First of all, she is a victim of domestic violence, but she's a survivor, but she overcame it, thank God. But the fact that he had, what I saw from what you mentioned right now was that he has a manipulation thing. It's a control freak thing with him. Of course. Yeah. And the fact that what he did that to her was kind of like, okay, I did this. I got money, power, authority. I could do what I want. And on top of that, I'm gonna make a song about it. And like you just mentioned, mixtapes and stuff like that. What he just did was the most stupidest move, because first of all, he needs to get help. That's the main and first, more than ever anything, he needs to get help, because he needs to understand what he did was wrong, his actions. And for him to even attack a woman who particularly loved him and still cared for him, even though what he did to her was wrong. And, she still tried to, I guess, in a way, wanted to get back with him, but eventually she realized, the feedback we were putting out there, like, you shouldn't do him alone. And I saw a lot of feedback on that. I feel, what he did was totally wrong. And he is one hell of an example what an abuser does to a woman in this industry, especially in the film industry itself as well.
And you make a good point about the fact that because in the beginning, you're right. In the beginning, she kind of was lying about the incident as to what happened, because she said, "Oh, I stepped on glass," is what she told the hospital, is that she stepped on glass in the car during this. So she was already in that, "Oh, I got to protect my man" mode. But then what happened was I forget how it all happened. It just spun out of control. And then I don't know who it was that talked to her. Maybe it was, because it wasn't her bestie. It was supposed to be somebody else had talked to her. And he was putting stuff out there, making her kind of look stupid, because the rumors were out there that he shot her. And then finally, I remember she was fed up. She went on Instagram. She's like, "Whoa, wait a minute. Here it is. This is what happened." As a survivor, what do you think happened to her that clicked in her head and said, "No, I can't let this N-word make me look bad in this situation. I got to tell it like it is." And it's kind of how we've seen this unroll, in front of our eyes, with Megan coming out and being like, "Nah, this is what really happened."
No,
what
of course.
What do you think clicked in her that was what was said? Could it be something that was said, or was it something she might have heard and just realized, "Oh, no, I just can't live with myself like this"?
That's a good question. I really think, from what I've heard from the media and everything, I think, like you said, she tried to protect him to the best extent, not to damage his reputation, his name as an artist. And down the line, I guess love really, you know how I say love is blind. I guess the love was there until eventually she saw the feedback of women that probably reached out to her fans, her supporters. Listen, this man attacked you, almost tried to kill you, basically. He shot your foot, when people are making fun of her. And I think it was the pressure alone and kind of foreseeing it in the person's eyes as a domestic violence victim / survivor, and realizing at the same time, she said, "Wait a minute," maybe it snapped in her head, realizing, "Wait a minute, I'm going to go down with this man if I continue going with this nonsense and going out with just saying, I'm protecting him, I'm guarding him," not realizing she's making herself look bad, because down the line, it was not her that enticed him. It was him who had the gun and shot her.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So she started this whole thing now, hashtag protect Black women. And of course, people are already on her and ripping her apart because of that. But you have to understand where she's coming from as a Black woman in this whole thing. Like I said, in the Black community, this has been a thing in the Black community for a long time. I understand where she's coming from with that. And I'm not going to bash her hashtag protect Black women. There's a lot of Black women who are going to agree with that. And you saw right away a lot of women showing support for Megan Thee Stallion. You've got people like Kalani, who had a track with Tory Lanez on her new album. She's like, "Nah, he's coming off that track." JoJo from Boston.
A lot of people are taking him out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to add that. So, a lot of people they have a thing. I think they're saying something like "Stop Tory Lanez" or something, or they're trying to, like R. Kelly, same thing. Now that it's out there and exposed, they don't want to support him, and I think he might get dropped eventually by his label. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the thing that's impressive about this is that, back in the day, women didn't really have, abused women really didn't have this social media outlet. And I've said this before, us with social media, we have become Big Brother. When you read the book 1984, Big Brother was this big government thing. It's not. Big Brother
Oh, yeah.
today is us. We are Big Brother. We utilize social media to call people out and expose them. And to see other women step up, like the hashtag Me Too, the hashtags, whatever, it's a way to come together as victims and expose people like Tory Lanez, where you didn't really have that avenue before. You really didn't. You had some type of groups that met at a church or whatever. It was still behind the scenes, but what is it you think that's about exposing people like him on social media is key? Because I think it's key. I think for women to come together and expose somebody like that, I think it's big. I think it's big.
Definitely. I feel, it takes one person to be the voice for other people.
Mhm.
And down the line, definitely. And I feel like social media plays a huge role, especially now, like, with technology and so many things are still more out there for us and more advanced. It's helped us along the way, forgive me, to down the line to see, activists, advocates, from every different aspect. It's not only domestic violence, to speak their mind and to have people go along with what they're saying, their mission, and to enforce what should be really done so this will never happen. Going back to the docu-film briefly, the reason why the concept we're doing this film is, one, not just to have awareness, that's one of them. Second of all, is the main concept is to have people be inspired, and those people, especially with COVID, I just talked about not so long ago, Sinister, the fact that doing with COVID, a lot of victims have been killed during COVID because they can't go anywhere. They're stuck home. And the numbers of domestic violence cases have risen up so badly. And then I'm heard so many cases. I'm telling you, I could go on with this, but back to the situation which you mentioned, I feel like we need to advocate. And then back to the film, I feel like that's another second reason why I wanted to do this film, because to let people be aware of it, to also have a law be enforced stricter, particularly for the abusers, to let them know that, we're tired of them being taken advantage of, meaning, because I've been through the system, I did the order protection, that'll do nothing. Only if the cop is there, and luckily if your abuser has a knife at your throat, then that's when they'll get arrested. That's how it works, unfortunately. And with that said, I've been there, done that. I want the law to strictly be enforced with this situation at hand, where the abusers should not take advantage of the situation, of the system, and that the victims will never be a victim, because they shouldn't have to be fearing their life, going down the street or going somewhere and their abuser attacks them and kills them, and there's another statistic down the line. That's the reason. Those are three reasons why I really wanted to put this out there. I guess our first is the awareness, of course. Second of all is about the law acting more upon and enforcing stricter policies for the abusers to never do this again to their victims. And of course, third of all, I wanted to basically have the victims, even though they're not here, but a voice for them, and as well for the survivors who tell their story, because you never know who could be inspired by watching this tonight.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely. This is I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling for you and your viewers, it's emotional, it's raw, and it's going to be something that it might change your life and your perspective of a friend. Because I hate when people say, girl, why don't you leave him? He ain't no good for you. Listen, you're not there in her shoes or his shoes every other day dealing with the shit they got to endorse, even though, definitely. It's good for a friend to tell them on the outside, and you could do that, but are you there to help her physically, safely to get out the house so that she could eventually get her own space, get her own mind, go to therapy, get the services that she needs so she could get her life back to normal before she met that individual? That's why I love when people come and say, be judgmental, do this, but you're not there to help that person. So this is something just part of my, POV, as I call it, just had to mention that in there, because I see the too many cases where people are, won't you leave her? Won't you leave him? They no good for you. Well, you're not there to help them, to guide them to get out of that.
Right. Yeah. And you do see that a lot. So again, Vero G, thank you for coming on this show. I'm going to let you shout out your movie and shout out all your social media and stuff where people can get in touch with you.
Of course, definitely, guys. You guys, there's too many, but I'll make it short. You guys can follow me on my website at www.verogmusic.com. My artist page, Vero G. Also, you can follow me, I believe, Instagram, Diva and Diamonds. all that sorts. And also, again, guys, tonight it's at 8 p.m., guys. Strictly sharp, 8 p.m., guys.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to miss it.
Yeah, we're at 7:35, so I want to make sure I'm off tonight on time so I
No,
can
you're good,
actually
you're
possibly
good.
start a watch party. I have some people in the chat. Tyler Zanowski says, I agree, 100% order protections are useless. Tyler Zanowski's dad is a police officer. Tyler Zanowski's a security guard. He's very aware of what goes on in the court systems. He says he sees it all the time. It's horrible, and it is. It's sometimes you see these things, and automatically the woman is she's got to prove her case.
Mm-hmm.
And you hate seeing that a woman has to prove her case. And then again, you have situations where, real quick, lots of times women go to court, show up to court after being abused, and then defend a person. I remember a situation where I had a neighbor, her boyfriend was beating her up bad.
Oh my God.
And I went there, I broke it up. I almost got shot in the process by the Brockton Police Department. But at the end of the day, when the court case came, she showed up at court and spoke on his behalf, and he walked away from this. Now, the reason why he had attacked her was because he found out she was cheating on him while he was in jail for beating her up before. It was just sheer craziness. And this is why a lot of cops will tell you they don't like going into some of these situations, because that's that power. That's that power you just talked about. Even though he's beat her up, he's got that control, that power over the victim. So again, I got to thank you, Vero, for coming on the show. Great stuff. 8:00 tonight. You want to make sure to check that out. Like I said, I'm going to be watching probably through YouTube, because that's where the premiere is counting down, and going to check it out.
I'll be in the chatting with you guys. I'll be there watching as well. So get your Kleenex. It has some good parts, but it's just something that you guys, I hope you look. As long as I save one life tonight, whoever watches this makes me what we're doing is amazing, and we got more to come. Actually, I'll let you guys know a little inside scoop. Down the line, we'll see how this turns out tonight, and we'll continue putting it out there. And if we have a great feedback, we're gonna do a web series. We have a lot of footage, so we might just continue on with that, and we'll see from there.
Okay, so before I let you go, we do have a live chat for our show that's going on right now. We've got a ton of people in our chat. If I always ask my guests to jump into the chat and drop your links. Drop the links to your social media. Drop the links to the show tonight, so all these people who are in the chat, they know where to go and click. And I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much. Thank you again.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. I'll touch base with you. And like I said, please jump in the chat. Drop those links for those people who are out there waiting for you.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm on the phone, but I'll if anything, I'll just send it to you and we'll make magic.
Okay, no problem. All right, take care.
Thank you.
All right, bye. That was Vero G, Veronica Gonzalez, DTF Radio, and they've got their film tonight that's coming on 8 p.m. Make sure you guys check it out. Like I said, she said it's going to be a tearjerker, so you want to make sure you get in there, watch it. That's going to be at 8 p.m. So it's 7:38 right now. I'm going to transition over and got to get into this show right now. So let me get her. She's gone. Boom, boom, boom. Bam. Cool. And we're going to get back into the show. What's up? Back here in the show now. Tyler Zanowski, everybody, I see you guys in there doing good stuff in the chat for me. I'm going to get into this show. I got a few videos to show you guys tonight. Before I get in there, let's go. Breaking news. Republican candidate Rayla Campbell, who is running against Democratic State Rep Ayanna Pressley, alleges she was assaulted in New Bedford after a Trump rally by two women. Now, if you're watching this story over the internet, hey, how's it going, Maria? If you're watching this story over the internet right now, you're hearing different things like these girls that are involved in this you're hearing that the girls involved in this are Antifa. You're hearing that they're far left and all this stuff. Look, I watched the video. And first of all, for those who don't know who Rayla Campbell is from this area. She's a Randolph congressional candidate. She's a Republican. She's a Trump supporter. She is this area's version of what's her name? I forget the one that pisses me off a lot. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys a video. I got to apologize for the language in the video, but for me, when I watch the video, everybody's in the wrong. The two girls who attacked her in the wrong. Rayla Campbell, in my mind, she aggravated the situation. The guy who's with Rayla, who is videotaping, he made the situation even worse. So let me get this video on for you guys so you guys can check this out. Here's the video of Rayla Campbell's attack down in New Bedford. All right? And you're going to be shocked and surprised. There's no way these two girls are Antifa. There's no way these two girls are Black Lives Matter protesters. These are just two young girls who their parents didn't whoop their ass when they was younger. That's my opinion. This is crazy. Here we go. Triggered! 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 Go ahead, you're on video. Go ahead, go for it. Fucking go for it. Right here. Right here. Pull it right here. Fucking go for it. Go for it. I don't care if you're a woman. Fuck out of here, bitch. Fuck out of here, you hood rat. Yeah, fucking hood rat. You're disgusting. Disgusting hood rat. Go back to your parents' fucking basement, you losers. Go back to your parents' basement, losers. Fucking hood rat. You're the problem with this fucking world right here. Yeah, that's the only time. Disgusting. You make me want to throw up. Make me want to throw up. You're fucking disgusting. You're fucking disgusting, bitch. Fucking disgusting. Your parents must be proud. Your parents must be proud. Fucking losers. Fucking losers. Losers. Fuck you. Fuck you. You dumb loser bitches. Get your ugly asses out of here. Get your ugly ass out of here, you skank bitch. Get out of here, you skanky bitch. Losers. Losers. Lose. Cry baby. Trump's still your daddy. Trump is still your daddy, loser. Trump is your daddy, loser. Oh, we already got your plate, dummy. You're fucking touching her shit. That's assault. You can't touch people's property, you dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. You can't touch people's property. You can't touch anybody's property.
I'm not touching your property.
No, you're touching her shit and you're on video doing it. So it doesn't matter. You should have fucking kept rolling. You should have kept rolling, dummy.
I can go here.
Trump's still your daddy. Trump's still your daddy. 4 more years. 4 more years he's gonna be your daddy. You dumb trigger. Fucking trigger. Trigger, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, that's all you know. That's all you know, you dirty bitch. That's all you know. Go back to eating Tide Pods, you fucking retard. Go eat some more Tide Pods. Get the fuck out of here, you dummy. You dumbass bitch. There you go, again. Again, you're fucking touching it. Again, you're fucking. Again.
You want to fucking do it?
Again, yeah. Yeah, you're putting your hands on people's property. Don't be touching nobody's shit. Doesn't matter. You're out of your fucking car antagonizing us. Hey, you're out of your car antagonizing. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Hey! Hey! Hey, get the fuck off. Get the fuck off of her.
Please get off of her.
Get the fuck off of her. Get the fuck off her. Don't swing on me. Fuck you, I'm backing you up, bitch. Yeah, back the fuck up. You fucking dumb bitches.
Stop!
You don't want to stop the car. You're antagonized. You stop the fucking car. Now you just assaulted somebody.
No, it's all right. I'm calm. I'm calm. I am calm. No, I'm calm. They need to get the fuck off her. Two people onto one. Is that how you bitches roll?
No.
Yeah, two fucking people onto one, right?
No.
No, it's all right. Back up. Wait, back up.
No.
Wait, I don't give a fuck. They're attacking her. They're attacking her. They're in her fucking face.
They put their hands on her first.
They put their fucking hands on her. Get the fuck out of here. You stopped the car. You wanted fucking problems. You're looking for trouble.
This confrontation shouldn't have
No, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I didn't. I'm just pushing you off her. I'm not embarrassing. You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing. We have our rights just like you have your rights. We have our rights just like you have your rights.
This is not worth it.
It's all right. Relax.
Jeff, you're antagonizing
I'm
this.
not antagonizing them. They're fucking antagonizing. They don't
I
gotta
get it,
attack
but you
them.
leave them alone, you walk away,
No,
they're just stupid.
no,
They're
no.
just kids.
There is diversity. What do you think she's fighting for? What do you think she's fighting for? She's fighting for diversity. She's fighting for diversity. She's fighting for your diversity. She's fighting for your diversity. I didn't do nothing. I'm getting you off it because you got fucking two of you attacking one person.
Yeah. Shame on you. Yeah,
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Oh, really? After you fucking assault me? You had a car. You had a
He didn't come in your car. Everything's on video. She didn't come in your car.
Oh, really? Really?
It's okay.
Women don't come at children.
Oh, now you're playing the kid card? You're playing the kid card? You're playing the kid card, really? You're playing the kid card now? You're playing the kid card. You guys got out and started shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Are you kidding me? Good for you. Good for you. Fucking people.
Yeah, you gotta get arrested. Get arrested.
For what? You just attacked her. You just attacked her.
You guys are black. You don't get it.
Oh my God, we don't have to be black.
What color am I?
What is she? What is she if she's not black? What is she? She's fighting for your rights. You're attacking somebody who's fighting for your rights. You're attacking somebody who's fighting for your rights and your beliefs, you dummy. Goddamn fucking stupid fucking young kids.
Sorry, you can't go anywhere. The cops are coming. And when I catch you again, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Oh yeah, just like you did now, the both of you? Get out of here. Bitch, we got your plate, you dumbass bitch. No shit they did, they attacked her. I got it all on video. I got it all on video.
They're gonna cross
There's no
complaint.
cross complaint. There's
There is.
video, Michael.
There is.
Was that crazy? Was that not crazy? What's up, Paul? I see you, Paul Forrest. I see you, Maria. What's going on? Everybody's in the wrong in that situation, in that video. Everybody. But here's the problem with this. The two young girls in the car, they may be minors. They may be under 18. She may be a new driver. They didn't look any day over 18, number one. Number two, if they were under 18, that man filming, and I would say the representative from Randolph, I would say she's part of the problem too. Because she started it by putting the friggin' megaphone in their car in siren mode. That she was antagonizing that situation. To be honest, yeah, you're usually better off being the better person than just driving away. But sometimes things happen and it's just too much. And she antagonized those two young girls with the megaphone. And then he just kept the situation going. Now, he's the male in this situation. He's antagonizing the whole thing. 90% of the crap he was spewing was wrong and brought the situation to the situation that it was. So again, everybody was wrong in that story. Everybody. And she's trying to get assault charges. She claims that she's got a broken tibia and all this other stuff. I don't know. from what it looked like to me, is you fell on your ass intimidating two teenage girls. And again, like I said, the news is trying to say that they're in Antifa and BLM protesters. They're not. They're just two young girls who don't know any better. I'm trying to figure out what the hell does twerking in a popular altercation have to do with the situation at hand. Twerking. And let's be real here. The guy that was saying disgusting, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, trust and believe me, that was all a cry for pittiness from this dude, because I can tell you right now, if that chick was in a strip club and he was in there, he's dropping dollars on her. Trust and believe me. He can say all the stuff he wants, but I'm pretty sure, I didn't see the guy on camera, but I know from the sound of his voice, I'm pretty sure I know what he looks like, and I'm pretty sure he'd be at the strip club dropping dollars, making it rain for this chick. I'm dead serious. Dead serious. So again, they were all wrong. Everybody was wrong in this situation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just a crazy, crazy, crazy story. Next up in the news booth, Hannaford's, please share, like, pass this story along, because people are sick. Sick. Nicholas Mitchell of Saco, Maine, he actually worked for It's a Pizza. It's a company that makes pizza dough for Hannaford's, for their deli. So like when you go to Hannaford's and you're in the deli and you see the bag of fresh pizza dough, that's what It's a Pizza made. This man, Nicholas, was a disgruntled employee and broke up pieces of razor blades and put them in the dough. Put them in the dough. So now Hannaford's is recalling all of the pizza dough in their stores. Effective immediately. No ifs, ands, or buts. You'll get a refund. You just bring it back to the store. And if you know anybody who shops at Hannaford's, please spread that word, pass it along to them, because it is definitely, it's not worth the risk. People are sick. Tonight the booth got a lot of sick people on this show tonight. You know, we got some good stuff, but we got some sick people on the show tonight. Also in the news booth, Gillette Stadium will host a drive-through holiday lights for the Christmas season. And if you guys have ever been out to Gillette Stadium, it is a big piece of property. For a while there, Spooky World was held there during the month of October, and it was a great time. So the last time I went to something like this, I went up to Loudon, because NASCAR and Loudon's track was hosting a holiday festivity of lights where you were able to drive around the track and see the lights. So it's pretty good. So the fact that you will be able to go out and see the lights at Gillette Stadium and drive through, I think it's going to be great. I mean, they just recently hosted like a Jurassic Park thing where you stayed in your car and you drove through and saw all the dinosaurs and stuff, and that went over pretty well. So under COVID, this is a nice way for people to get out and see some things. Also in the news booth, keep watching this story, people. Keep watching this story, because while everybody is sitting here fighting about Republicans and Democrats and Trump and Biden and all this stuff, I've always said on this show for the longest time, always said, it's not about black or white. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about the haves and the have-nots. Both parties could give a crap about the middle class. The have and the have-nots. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the middle class continue to support everybody else and get broke. Pay attention to this story. Automation is the real threat to American jobs. And I've been telling people this. And if you don't pay attention, you keep falling for the black and white Jedi mind tricks they're falling for in the news. They're making you fall for in the news. You're going to see things like this. Boom. This story right here, pay attention. Autonomous trucks. Now, I've already mentioned this on my show. Tractor trailers, they already have self-driving tractor trailers. Coors has 5 tractor trailers that drive themselves to California with no driver. With no driver. That's 5 trucks taking away 5 union jobs from Teamsters driving trucks. 5 trucks. You know what that means, people? There's no DOT regulations if you have no driver. So he doesn't have to pull over every so many hours to take a rest or a break. With no driver, there's no benefits you've got to pay out. There's no drivers getting lost. There's no drivers hitting bridges because they're not paying attention to what they're doing. Because with an autonomous truck, it's already mapped out. The route is mapped out through GPS and it just follows GPS. Now here is the next threat. And this is going to be hitting the streets not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now. Next year, people. Next year, this autonomous truck is hitting the streets. What this truck is, it's called the ACT system. This system allows the truck to be driven. The front truck, the lead truck, will be driven by a driver, a human driver. But then the tandem trucks that follow behind him will be driverless. So in other words, you'll have the one main truck, and then whatever amount of trucks behind them will be driverless. So again, you've now eliminated jobs. So you have one driver in charge of how many other trucks he's going to drive, even if it's just one truck. You see what I'm saying? This is what people really need to pay attention to. This is coming. This is union busting at its best. And I've been telling people, this is coming. The Teamsters, police forces, all of this stuff unions are under the biggest threat ever. And automation is coming. I've had people on my Facebook page say, you don't know what you're talking about. That's technology's 10, 15 years off. No, it's not. It's going to be here in 2022, people, right here. 2022, this will be here. So pay attention. Pay effing attention, people. Again, you need to. Maria is in the chat. She says her husband's a truck driver. Show him this story. Show him this story. If he's a union truck driver, show him this story. Because this is crazy stuff. This is crazy stuff. I've got a lot of people dropping that in the chat. Paul just put Defense One, Human FC. Yeah. So, moving on in the news booth. Let's see here what I got for the next story. I got the Dump the Gillette story. Yeah. Yep. Self-flying jet fighters are real close to reality. Yes. It's coming. It's coming. For anybody who saw, what was that friggin' movie with Clint Eastwood back in the day? The plane that flew itself. What the heck? And then they had the movie Stealth. Remember the movie Stealth that they had? Jamie Foxx was in it, and I forget the girl who was in it, but they had Stealth. Firefox, I think the Clint Eastwood movie was. Remember that? So yeah, it's not far. Yeah, Maria, he's a Teamster. They should be all over this. I had a union rep on this show, and he said that they were aware of this coming. And what they're trying to do is get guys trained to fix these things or try to get another career. But for some guys who've been driving trucks for almost 20 years, they can't change their career if they're taken out of a job by an autonomous truck. That's not happening. That's not happening. It's craziness. So Maria, if your husband is a Teamster truck driver, you probably want to share that story to him. And he may want to start talking to union as to what are we doing about this? All right? Getting into the sick people yet again. There's a special type of hell for these people. Special type of hell for these people. 29-year-old Austin Stevens faces multiple charges after raping his 10-year-old daughter, who has now died from her injuries. A special type of hell for these people. And I hate to say this, but if there was, you have an incident with George Floyd with a knee on his neck for a $20 counterfeit bill, and it's bad. We're in an uproar, but something like this type of dude, man, it's a special type of hell for him. Yep, Gen Pop. Paul just said, put him in Gen Pop. Yep, that's right. Put his ass in Gen Pop. And speaking of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, the officer who spent 8 minutes and 46 seconds on the neck of George Floyd, he made bail. $1 million bail. Derek Chauvin, and the judge has allowed Derek to move out of his city because of fear of violence against him in the city and town that he lives in. So not only did somebody post $1 million bond for Derek Chauvin, and people are like, well, he's got his pension. No, he don't. Derek Chauvin don't have his pension. Derek Chauvin don't have anything right now because he's going through a divorce and his wife is entitled to half his shit. So you can't lock that all up because his wife's going to get what she wants to get from the divorce. And if Minnesota is anything like Massachusetts, she gets half his pension in the divorce. So who really put the $1 million up for Derek Chauvin to get out of jail on a bond? Special interest groups. I'm pretty sure of it. The question is what special interest groups put up the money for him to secure the $1 million bond? And the fact that he was able to leave Minnesota, well, he wasn't able to leave Minnesota. He was able to just leave the city or town that he lived in and go someplace else to live for fear is just BS. Is BS. Because there's been a lot of black men who have been in court for weed and have been deemed flight risk and not be allowed to leave their city or town for weed charges. So, again, this is crazy. Pay attention, people. Again, and his court case isn't until March of 2021. 2021, his case isn't going to be heard. Craziness. And speaking of access rights, they should publish where it came from. Yeah, I think that's private. I don't think they can publish it. And we'd like to know. Also in the news booth, actually, this is the legal booth now we are in the legal booth. Last week, we talked about the 13 men who were part of a militia in Michigan. And everybody remembers my rant from April and March about the men in Michigan who were at the State House with the guns. And I said, this isn't good. This needs to be stopped. This needs to be looked into. And now here we are, fast forward, a group of those men who were at those two events in Michigan, they were going to carry out this plan where they were going to take over the Michigan State House. They had plotted and planned to kill those cops that they had cased out on the 2 days that they were there. And they had planned to go to Governor Whitmer's house and kidnap her and hold her for locking the state down. And now, while everybody's out there trying to defend these guys and saying they're not white supremacists, no. Let's get it right, people. Let's get it right. These 13 men were anarchists. They hated the government. But hold on, all you people out there that are talking all this stuff and saying you're wrong and this and that. 13 of these guys came together for a common cause. They hated the government. They were anti-government. But some of these guys were white supremacists. Some of these guys were radical this or radical that or extreme this and extreme that, but they came together for one common goal. So this militia, once again, yes, it was linked to white supremacy for some of the members that are arrested and in this. Number two, the FBI had them on their radar for good reason. And I think, to be honest, another militia outed them. The way this story went down, I think another militia outed them. And I think it's the one that the gentleman, if you're looking at the picture, third from the top, from the left, he was actually kicked out of another militia. I guess it was the Michigan Wolverine militia or something he was kicked out of. And he was, kicked out for having rage issues. They were so fearful of him that they kicked him out for rage issues, him and his girlfriend. And then he went on to meet up with these other two guys that were in the bottom row, the number 2 and number 3 in the bottom row. He linked up with those guys. Now, those two guys I'm hearing, those were the two white supremacist guys, but they were also anti-government. Now, the reason why a lot of people are blaming Trump in this whole situation and this situation is because these guys enacted and carried out this whole thing after Trump had tweeted, "Liberate Michigan." This is where the whole idea came from. So for those that are saying, well, they did this and acted on their own, Trump cannot be held accountable. Yes, he can. He can be held accountable. He's the commander in chief. When you put stupid stuff out there, people, crazy idiots like this take your crap seriously. Like when he went and talked about the bleach, and he didn't tell anybody to inject the bleach, but he made a stupid comment where it insinuated for people to think that they could take bleach, to the point where the FDA had to come out and release a statement for people not to drink bleach. He never came out and told people to drink bleach, but the statement he made would make some people think that, and it was crazy. Like, people with common sense knew what he was saying. So again, the story gets crazy. And the reason why the story gets crazy is because breaking news today, Democratic Governor Ralph Northam of Virginia was on their list. So now you have 2 Democratic governors who were potential kidnap victims. They would have been kidnapped victims. Think about that. In my mind, these dudes are terrorists. People are calling them militia. Some people are calling them patriots. Get the F out of here with that. These dudes aren't patriots. They're no way, shape, or form patriots. When you talk about you're going to kidnap governors and overthrow State House, that's not patriotism. That's terrorism. Terrorism in a nutshell. So for anybody who's on my Facebook page and all this stuff and trying to defend these guys, you're out of your freaking mind. Out of your mind. They're terrorists. Period. Lock them up. Paul said they should let natural selection take its course. Yeah, there were some people who did get sick. Over that stupidity. Also in the legal booth, I'll take a new controller any day. As you see, my sponsor, MDB Electronics, I've sent my controllers out to him for a stick drift many times and had them fixed. This has been a common complaint with the Xbox controllers for a long time with Microsoft, and now they have a class action lawsuit in regards to the stick drift on your controller. And for those who don't know anything about gaming, there is nothing more aggravating than a stick that drifts when you're playing a game like football or something, where you're not moving the stick and then the guy drifts because the internal parts are making it so the person moves. It is the most aggravating thing. So now they've added the Elite Series 2 joystick, which was just released earlier this year. So that's now been added to the class action lawsuit. I myself am dying to see what's going to happen, but if it looks like they'll be taking controllers, they'll be giving out and taking old controllers and giving new controllers, I'm up for it. Just in time for the new Xbox. So I'm happy. Moving on to the entertainment booth. Good news, bad news. The good news, Paul says domestic enemy right there. Yeah. Like I said, I've always called them domestic terrorists. Last week on the show, I had R Squared and Ken Diesel, and R Squared pretty much said they're terrorists. He said take the domestic off. They're terrorists, period. Case in point. That's coming from a military guy. So, moving on to good news, bad news in the entertainment booth. The film Batman has been delayed to 2022. Not happy about that. That was supposed to be coming out in 2021, October. My birthday next year. Isn't happening. But Matrix 4 is moving up to 2021. So it looks like Matrix 4 is moving up from April 2022 to December of 2021. So Christmas, we will have the new Matrix movie. Early on the show tonight, you saw my guest Vero G. Her movie is going to be premiering. It's actually 8 o'clock right now. It's actually started through the Through Their Eyes. The Mask Behind the Mask is the name of the movie. Vero G's movie is premiering. We talked about Megan Thee Stallion. We actually talked about this topic. Hashtag Protect Black Women, which went trending on social media. Crazy stuff. Again, we talked about it during Vero G's. I'm going to show you guys the other things here. Hold on. Boom. That was Vero G being on there. Want to check that out. That's at 8 o'clock tonight. And also, you want to make sure, boom, there's the virtual screening for it. Make sure you check that out. And hopefully she jumps in the chat and lets people know. And there is the other banner for it. Through their eyes, the mask behind the mask. Also, coming up in the entertainment booth, Decisions, the one chip challenge. I got a box, and it looks like I might have to get 2 more. I've got 3 victims who have decided they may want to take the one chip challenge. So pay attention to this show, people. It's coming. I'm going to see what's going to happen here. I'm not doing it. So don't jump in the chat and start asking me if I'm doing it, because it ain't happening. Moving on to the sports booth. Another major sports star tests positive for COVID-19. Cristiano Ronaldo of Portuguese soccer team, Portugal. COVID positive. So he will not be playing this Wednesday night. He's going to have 2 negative tests to come back. And this COVID is hurting. It's hurting a lot of sports. It's hurting a lot of things, man. It is hurting a lot of things. Continuing on in the sports booth. Also, we want to get into the NFL. Another one bites the dust. Falcons fire their head coach, Dan Quinn, and the GM, Thomas Dimitroff, for their 0-5 start. Now, I'm a little perplexed by this. We're going to fire coaches for 0-5 starts, but we're not firing coaches like in Tennessee or in New England, where we've had COVID outbreaks and we didn't do our best to monitor COVID and keep COVID at bay. I like my NFL, but look, I got to think about this. Who would you fire more? A coach that's 0-5 or a coach that's allowing COVID to run through your entire organization? In my opinion, I would say fire the coaches who allow COVID in there. Like, because when you go to the Titans, the reason why Titans have COVID is because they were hosting practices that they shouldn't have been hosting. They were hosting practices that were outside the NFL COVID rules. Now, if the owners or the GMs told these coaches to do that, okay, then you can't be fired. But again, it's piss poor practices. And look, I love Bill Belichick. Love him to death. But somebody's got to answer for COVID in the Patriots. And it's crazy because we've now got the Patriots game is now moved to Sunday. Patriots were supposed to play the Broncos, and we are now looking at a Sunday game. And if Cam Newton tests negative, there'll be 2 negatives, and he will be able to play in this game. Matt Patricia needs to go down in Detroit. Yeah, that could be another situation too. Moving on though, I put this math equation out there for people. And just look at it. Just please take a look at this NFL math equation real quick. And this is the problem that I have with the NFL right now. This is my problem with the NFL right now. And the math equation is NFL times greed plus ignorance equals COVID karma. And it's not just COVID. It's not just COVID that it equals. It equals the injuries that we're also seeing. This NFL greed times greed plus ignorance equals the injuries that we're seeing. I've got one coming up to show you guys in a second. Week 2, when we lost 13 guys in one weekend. Let's be realistic here at this situation. Let's be realistic here. The NFL could have done bubbles like the NBA and the NHL did. They didn't. They rather have everybody go to all their brand new stinking stadiums and come there and play there. Now, realistically, in my opinion, you could have had 4 bubbles, 2 on the West Coast, 2 on the East Coast, and you have 2 brand spanking new stadiums on the West Coast. You have the Raiders with their new stadium in Vegas, and you have the Chargers with their brand new SoFi Stadium out there on the West Coast in California. So realistically, you could have placed those players in Vegas where they have nothing but empty hotels right now, and help boost their economy by having the NFL pay those hotels to house those players in Vegas, and then fly in the bubble. You just go back and forth between those two stadiums. Here on the East Coast, or maybe you do one East Coast, one centralized, use Dallas and use Gillette. Gillette's got a ton of stuff around it. I mean, it could have been done. It could have been done with the bubbles. I think it would have worked. Granted, every team has 53 players and their staff, but I think with it, it could have been done. I just think the owners and the players and everybody are just straight up greedy. Straight up greedy. And the thing is that, the players who opted out of the 2020 season because of COVID, they took a beating when they opted out. A lot of people talked a lot of crap about these players, but now these players are looking pretty smart. And the other reason why I call it ignorance, and Paul has also mentioned it because I talked about it, the injuries. One of the reasons why we've got all these injuries in the NFL right now is because these guys came right out September, week 1, game speed. Boom, game speed. Now, me and Matt Cameron talked about this, people. We talked about this months before the NFL started. Me and Matt Cameron, we predicted this because we know our sports. The key here is that the football season begins after the draft in April. Once the draft is done, you have your camps. Not mandatory camps, but you have your camps in April. Then once April is done, May rolls around, June rolls around, you have your mandatory camps for the veterans, your rookie camps. All that stuff starts coming into play in March, April, May, June, July, camps after camp after camp. August is when training camp officially starts. That's 2-a-days. So you're looking at almost 4 months of conditioning and training and getting the timing down between you and your receiver or running backs finding the holes. August, you spend 2-a-days learning playbooks and all of that stuff. Guess what? We didn't have that this year. You had week 1, the first Thursday in September, you had all these teams coming out playing game speed with having no camps and hoping that your guys are all in shape on the honor system, which a lot of these guys under COVID, they weren't working out like they should have been. We had a lot of people talking about Julian Edelman dropping that ball, which probably cost them the game in Kansas City. When you look at Julian Edelman's drop and everybody was complaining, oh, he shouldn't have made that. Well, he should have. He damn well should have made that drop. You know why? Because realistically, we're only in week 3 of preseason. So the timing isn't down yet. So all you people complaining about the refs and all this crap, remember, people, right now we're only in week 4 of preseason. We're in week 5 right now. So realistically, this is actually week 1 of the NFL. Week 1. And we always tell people that you don't know the pretenders from the contenders until week 4 of the NFL. So realistically, we're really only into week 1. All right. And I was surprised to see Tyson Hill tear it up last night, going in for Drew Brees in New Orleans. Man, crazy game. Crazy game. Chargers lost again. So upsetting to see the Chargers lose again. That's my son's favorite team. I was craziness. And this ignorance and greed of these teams is leading to what we have tonight, a Tuesday night game. The first Tuesday night game since 1946. It's the third game since the first game in 1946. It was another game that was played on the Tuesday night. It was the Minnesota Vikings. And, oh, what the heck just happened there? Let me get myself back on here. I just lost myself, and I'm going to open this back up, get myself in here, and you guys should see me. Boom. Okay, I'm back. Boom. I see Paul in there. Yeah, I just lost my video here, and I'm just trying to get myself back in here for you guys. Boom. Boom. And I'm back in here. So we're going to see the Titans take on the Bills tonight. Third time that happened in NFL history. So you want to make sure you tune in. Fantasy football has been a wreck. A wreck. Just a wreck. Just a horrible wreck. It's been the worst for me as a GM, honestly. Guys pay money into this stuff, and now you've got games on a Tuesday night when Tuesday is supposed to be waiver wire day. And now waiver wire day has been moved to Wednesday. And then your next game for the upcoming week is Thursday. So you have 24 hours to get your roster. Oh, you guys don't know the struggles of fantasy football right now. Oh, man. Dak Prescott. Man, oh, man, oh, man. If you guys don't watch the game, the Giants played the Chicago, Dallas Cowboys this past weekend. Former Patriot Logan Ryan went to tackle Dak Prescott as he went to run the ball and rolled up and landed on his ankle. I'm just going to show you guys the video. This was bad. This was real bad. Man, horrible. I'm going to let you guys check this out. Look, this weekend in sports was not for the weak of heart. I'm just letting you know. It's real bad. So here we go. Here's Dak Prescott. Watch this injury. This is crazy stuff, people. Like I said, my prayers are going out to Dak Prescott. And hopefully Jerry Jones does the right thing, because quarterback Dak Prescott had the franchise tag on him, which meant he was to make the league minimum of whatever quarterback was to make this year. So everybody's hoping and praying that he does do the right thing. Jerry Jones has said he'll make sure that he's taken care of. He was due to maybe get a $500 million contract. Some people like rapper Jay Kinzer, who was on my Facebook page, he said that this injury will probably cost him about $50 million. So here's the injury here if you missed it. This is quarterback Dak Prescott during the game. I feel for this guy. He was crying. Oh, man. Courtesy of CBS. Here we go.
Now going to keep it. Prescott breaks the tackle. He picks up a total of 9 more.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You almost got to hope it's a cramp, don't you, if you're a Cowboy fan right there? But, that does not look good, Jim. Oh, no.
And look at Gallup reacting and Dalton getting ready to go in.
Oh, you can just see that at the bottom.
Oh, one of those you don't want to see twice.
It was a gut-wrenching weekend. That is horrible. Horrible. He said, thanks, Keith. George Paul just said, thanks, Keith. Glad you won. I'm looking away. It was bad. It was bad. Also, in gut-wrenching moments, if you were a fan of MMA and UFC was in Abu Dhabi this weekend for Fight Island 5, and you had Joaquin Buckley in the first round dishing out what I would say it's definitely the knockout of 2020. There's no one. Look, we got 4 months left in this, 3 months left in this year. No way in hell anyone is going to beat this knockout. No way. You can watch this one, Paul. This one is really good. You guys got to hear this. And if I had to judge this as the best knockout of all time, Uriah Hall had a spinning back kick during a season of Tough, where he knocked a guy out with a spinning heel kick. And to me, that had been my best KO of all time in UFC history. Right now, I think this takes Uriah Hall's knockout off my chart. Hear this, people. This is the knockout heard around the world. Man, damn. Joaquin Buckley, put it on him. Chris Tucker, you got knocked the F out. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh, back in here. We're back in the Trump troubles. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He'll never be held accountable for anything as long as he's a sitting president. The Supreme Court will not revive the Trump case brought by the Democrats, which was him receiving illegal monies for his business. Now, if you remember, when Trump first took office, there was a big hoodoo about him and his name attached to his businesses because it's a conflict of interest. And it's the first time we've ever had somebody elected as president who owned all of these properties. We've never had anybody who owned all of this stuff and made all of this money in real estate before. We never have ever had a president. So it created a situation in government. And, you know, the first thing everybody told him was you got to get your name off your businesses and put it in to the hands of your children to run while you're president. I think like for the first year and a half, he fought that. He fought that for a year and a half and didn't want that at all. So now he doesn't have control of that. He did turn it over to his daughter. And I think Eric might be the other one. That's the two names that are attached to running that Trump business right now is Ivanka and Eric. They're running it. Their names are on it. My feeling is, people, is that when Trump, if he gets 2 terms or if he does 1 term, the cuffs are waiting for his ass. The feds and the cuffs are waiting for his ass. And I'm going to get into why they'll be, one of the reasons, and some of the reasons, actually, why they will be waiting for his ass. Not just on the tax loophole crap. There's a lot of stuff that Trump has done that has skirted the conflict of interest that I find is illegal for a president to do and make money from. So we'll get into it. But again, I don't think he'll ever be arrested or held accountable until after he leaves office, in my opinion. That's the bottom line right there. Also, in Trump troubles, if you guys were watching today, Amy Coney Barrett, you know, she sat up there and she had her interview, and she did pretty good. I'm not going to lie, she did pretty good. She was asked about, you know, Trump originally had tweeted about the American Care Act, you know, Obamacare, as people like to call it. She got up there and she did admit, she said that she's going to look at things by the law, the land of the law, and make her decisions as needed. Now, as I mentioned here before, Trump did put 2 people on the Supreme Court, and those 2 people have not really voted the way Trump has wanted them to vote. So we need to pay attention. The one thing that stuck out today when she was questioned was the topic of abortion. Now, we know she's very religious. She is a pro-lifer. Paul has just put a link in there. Business Insider: lawsuits Trump will face when he leaves office. I'm gonna grab that link. Thank you, Paul. I'm gonna grab that link and actually put that up on our website, so we can actually share it. Maybe I'll get Ken and them to talk about it. But yeah, there's a slew of them. There's a slew of them that he will face. And as I said, you can't arrest the sitting president because you ruined democracy. As it is, you just can't. You can't. I don't care how you feel about Trump or how much you hate Trump. You can't arrest the sitting president. You will destroy this country. It will never happen. Ever. The question that she dodged was when it came up and talked about abortion. She's a pro-lifer. She pretty much walked her way around it. They asked her about Roe versus Wade, which you all know is a historic. Roe versus Wade set the bar when it came to women's rights and the right to choose. She kind of skated around that, avoided the answering that question. That was a red flag to a lot of women around the world. So we'll see what happens with that. Now let's get back into this other Trump trouble. There was a story released by Forbes about a month ago. This story actually came out about a month ago. And what they were doing is they were talking about the Trump's leaner White House payroll since 2017. And they were trying to say that the White House payroll has saved taxpayers $23.5 million. And I hate to say this, people, but I'm calling bullshit on that one. Bullshit. He may have they may have saved this much money on payroll, but money has been spent a lot of other places that takes that 23.5. For example, I had somebody, Skip Clay and some other Trump supporters. Well, Skip Clay is actually a Trump American. He's a Trump American. He's got that label now. I got a couple of people who are close to becoming Trump Americans, but they're still in the Trump supporter category. But the first thing they bring up is Obama and golf and say, well, Obama golfed more than Donald Trump. No, he didn't. First 2 years, Trump doubled the amount of golf trips that Obama had done in his first term. Don't believe me? Here's receipts. They're on the Facebook page. Booth, check it out. Golf, how many trips, where he went. Here's the other big difference, people. This is the one that you really need to pay attention to. Hey, Felicia, how's it going? What's up? How's it going? Felicia Damon in the chat. Here's the one you really need to pay attention to. When Obama went to golf, spread out. And the majority of places that Obama went to golf were at public military bases. Obama spent a lot of time at military bases playing his golf, which means it really didn't cost the taxpayers that much money when he went to golf. While President Trump, 100% of his golf trips have been to private clubs where security has to be boosted, Secret Service has to be there in full effect, and 100% of the golf places that he has visited were private, all private sector. That should be alarming to people right there. Alarming. Now, here's the deal. Somebody said to me, well, he went to visit his own golf courses, which saves the taxpayers money. No, it doesn't. And this is why the cuffs will be waiting for Trump's ass when he gets out of this presidency. One of the reasons why is because taxpayers have paid for serious security upgrades and updates to his properties where he goes, Mar-a-Lago. I forget the other place he spends a lot of time at and plays golf at his own place. All of these places, all these hotels and resorts that he owns, they're all getting tax upgrades for security measures on taxpayers' dollars. The first year and a half, Melania Trump didn't even want to live in the White House. She stayed with Barron in New York, and they had to go up there and turn the place that she lived in and the school into a safe, secure zone that's up to the standards of Secret Service, costing taxpayers a ton of money. So when people turn around and throw up all this crap, do your homework, people. I tell people all the time, don't come at me with this stuff and not do your homework, because I'm going to blow you out the water. I played Battleship as a kid, bro. I'm going to sink your battleship. I'm not playing. How's that dude say it that the kids are like, I'm not playing these games! Oh, man. Trump troubles. If you guys saw this one here, he was tweeting like a beast over the weekend to the point where, they were talking about his mental capacity, his competency. He had tweeted that there was going to be no deal until after the election. Yep, Paul said Trump Tower alone. You're right, Trump Tower alone. And that actually, it wasn't just Trump Tower. That whole area of New York, that whole 4-block radius had to get upgrades and stuff. It was crazy amount of money that they had spent. But Trump troubles, the mental capacity of President Trump was in question because, he had tweeted, it was like Friday night, he had tweeted that there was no deal was going to be done until after election. He didn't want to talk about the stimulus package, period. And then the weirdest thing happened. Just hours later, Trump tweeted, well, if I'm sent a standalone bill, the stimulus checks for $1,200 will go out if Nancy Pelosi agrees to it. And all of a sudden, people are like, wait a minute, you just tweeted hours ago There was no deal. Now, people rumored said that when he did this, the stock market was ready to crash, number one. Number two, there was a lot of Republicans who were like, no, bro, we got to get this stimulus out. You can't say stuff like that. The Republicans was on him. They said his phone was ringing off the hook. So I believe that. I believe the rumors. I believe that when he first came out and said that, I don't think it's a mental competency thing. I think he got his ass reamed and was told the truth and said, you need to get this stimulus done or this country's going to fail. So I'm like crazy. He drank too much Clorox, Felicia said. Oh, man. And then with another one he tweeted, he come out, and this one pissed me off. He come out and he tweeted on Saturday morning, he said, the FBI and law enforcement must focus their energy on Antifa and BLM. You know what that comment was? It was because it came out just after the FBI and law enforcement catching the militia out of Michigan. So somebody said, yeah, he's happy about what they did, but he now wants to, no. We've been dealing with Donald Trump for 3.5 years. We know how he tweets. We know what he means when he tweets. When he tweeted that about them focusing their energy on Antifa and BLM, meant that he was pissed that they went after those Michigan militia guys. You don't think so? Because I think he was upset. He hasn't been a fan of the FBI for the last 2 years. Hasn't been a fan of the FBI for the last 2 years. So you think he's gonna pat them on the back now? No. Also in Trump troubles. And I think that's how we're closing out the show tonight, is this last Trump trouble story. Yeah. Look, people, I live in Brockton, Massachusetts. Very, very much, I've always said is a Democratic state. Massachusetts is a Democratic state. But here in the South Shore, and it doesn't really surprise me that this story came out, that Trump received twice as many campaign contributions as Biden in the Brockton area. Now, the story, you got to read it. A lot of people will see that and be like, oh, there's no way Brockton. No, Brockton area is the key to this story. Brockton area. So I can tell you right now, I drove through East Bridgewater and West Bridgewater. A ton of Donald Trump signs. I went into Whitman. Ton of Donald Trump signs. A ton of Donald Trump signs in Whitman. Went down to Middleborough this past weekend to DJ a great event at Sunset Farm in Middleborough. And driving through Middleborough, a ton of Donald Trump flags and paraphernalia and stuff on people's lawns. So does it surprise me that Donald Trump has received twice as many campaign contributions as Biden? Doesn't surprise me at all, people, because those are the areas. Those are the areas. George, let's see here. Oh, Paul, my man Paul has actually put a link in there for the removal of Pelosi. And Felicia's in here. Felicia, we talked about the one chip challenge. You've got a $50 Vicente's gift card you're putting up to the person who can eat that chip. I'm going to be working on the white cities, the whitest. You can say that, Paul. Paul can say that. Paul Forrest can say that because he's a white guy. And what he's saying is that, those cities, the Bridgewaters, the Middleboroughs, the Whitmans, are heavy white residents. And he's right. But we do have some communities that are heavy white residents that are for Biden. I drove through Scituate and saw, believe it or not, Scituate, I saw a ton of Biden-Harris signs in Scituate. I was surprised. And Hull was another one. I saw a ton of Biden-Harris and dude, the amount of Black Lives Matters signs that I saw on people's yards in Hull was surprising to me. Very surprising. It's ocean waterfront property. The majority of the people that live in Hull are white, and to go through there and see the amount of Biden-Harris signs, I was really surprised. I would love to find out why Hull and Scituate are such Democratic, hardcore Democratic communities. I would love to know why that is. It might be due to, certain reps that are from that area that live down that way that the Democrats. I want to say maybe that. Yeah, not in Plymouth. Yeah, we were in Plymouth a few weeks ago. A lot of Trump people in Plymouth. I was in Somerset this past weekend. Somerset had a lot of Trump supporters in Somerset. So, but again, at the end of the day, this state is Democratic. There's no way Trump gets. Paul said, if you see a Trump sign, there's a boat in the yard. that goes back to my story here when they had the boat rally, and I had said that boats are a sign of financial success, and a lot of people are like, well, Keith, no, there's a lot of people. I get it. There are some people who afford boats, but usually the sign of financial success is owning a boat. And a lot of people, they didn't like that. They didn't like when I said that. But Paul, thank you for bringing that up. That's great stuff. And that's it. That's it for the booth people tonight. I don't know if you guys are peeping the background. So what I'm trying to do here is we've got 2 weeks left in the month of October. Every week, I'm going to try to bring the Halloween theme. I mean, we can't trick or treat or nothing this year. So I just want to try to have something in the background that's going to put the spookiness into Halloween this year and kind of get us in the mood. So I got a little background with me, and I hope you guys like my backgrounds. I'm working on my backgrounds and trying to get stuff. This one here actually is like a video behind me. So I hope you guys like it and enjoy it. Like I said, this show is coming along nicely. Felicia Damon, her birthday is the 19th. Mine's is the 18th. My birthday is the day before your birthday. So it's going to be good stuff. Paul is asking me to play the vote video again. You know what, Paul? I've actually made the decision that I will play that video at the end of every show from now until the election. I've already decided that when I close out this show, this video will play, and then SpongeBob will take us home. That's, Paul, you were the one that suggested it, and I feel there's no better way to take this show out for the next 2 weeks. There's no better way to take this show out. So, Paul, thank you for saying happy birthday to me, and Felicia also. So what I'm going to do here, everybody, we'll be back here next week. I'm actually probably going to lock this down about the one chip challenge and the location of where we're going to do it. And I'll be able to let you guys know. Again, Yellow Pain's My Vote Will Count is coming right up, and then SpongeBob will take us home. And then I'm going to watch the Vero G film, which is out there. I want to thank her for coming on the show tonight, and make sure you check it out. But you got to be safe. And also check out a couple of our supporters, Oscar Mike Radio and Maddie C Sports for You and Me. These guys are jamming along just as I am. Also make sure to support Vianna Marie. Her music is out there all over the internet, streaming media sites, everything. She's out there. And she just found out that she's now being heard in 32 countries around the world. 32 countries around the world for her music. So what I'm going to do here, people, is I'm going to bring in My Vote Will Count by Yellow Pain. Thank you, Paul, for turning this guy on to me. I'm working behind the scenes. I'm trying to get this kid to come on the freaking show before the election. If I can score this kid to come on the show, this rapper, I will be happy. If I would love to get him on the night of the election. Oh my God, that would be great, because we're going to be going live. The night of the election, we are going live. Me, R Squared, Ken Diesel, live. But here it is. I know we're at 8:45. I should maybe go till 9, but I'm not. I got some stuff I got to do. I got to check out this film from Vero G. So I'm just going to show you guys the video, My Vote Will Count, by Yellow Pain, and then SpongeBob, take us home.
I know the world won't give me nothing, so I gotta take it. And I know it's the way we can win. Why won't nobody say it? They don't wanna see us winning. They'd rather keep us down. Could have a war, but we don't know how. Don't let them tell you that your vote don't count.
Well, he was in office for 8 years, bro. Still ain't getting nothing done for it.
Bro, you and me done worked at this barbershop them whole 8 years, bro. They don't care about us, bro.
No, that's facts, though. I really don't even remember the last time a president did something for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go out in that sun and vote.
Bruh. You literally don't know what you're talking about, man.
First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws. They just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't never even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The state house make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, cause they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters. Me and you, somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the polls.
I know the world won't give me nothing, so I gotta take it. And I know it's the way we can win, why won't nobody say it? It don't matter where we from, suburbs or the slums. They don't wanna see us winning, they'd rather keep us down. Could have a war, but we don't know how. Don't let them tell you that your vote don't count.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on WhosnextNYCRadio and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinista1 production hosted by Sinista1.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made it, keep this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, it's like I'm my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's WhosnextNYCRadio.com.
Enter website.